Hello, welcome to the International Free Webinar. And this is arranged by Institute of Global Professionals. So welcome all the dear friends out here, all ladies and gentlemen are welcome to today's evening webinar. We are here live with you today. And this is one more international seminar. So welcome all of you. This is Rahul Sengupta this evening for host for you. By profession, I'm a professional speaker and I belong from India. So I'm very happy, very glad to be associated with IGP. I'm a global member of IGP. So that's a moment of pride which I am in. And I'm very, delighted, very encouraged to host this evening. I'm very much excited to host this evening. I've earlier also hosted for IGP, and every time it's a new excitement. Every time it is good to meet so many of you people coming across the globe, across the world. So before we, start with the webinar today, I would like to tell you something about IGP. And before that, I would like to request all of you to tag your friends, to share this link with other friends so that many people can come and join today's webinar. They can also learn, they can also educate themselves. And please comment, please like, please share, please tag your friends out here in this evening. So welcome friends once again and in this webinar, and I would like to once again, welcome all of you to this webinar. Before we start off with the IGP webinar, I would like to say that we have hosted so many webinars earlier. So once you subscribe, once you're on the page, you can visit the earlier webinars that has already happened. You can visit them, and the upcoming webinars, you'll get the notifications also. That is very important. Okay, so let me welcome the new members. A lot of new people, a lot of new participants keep on joining. So let me welcome all of them and let me tell you something about IGP. What is IGP? IGP stands for Institute of Global Professionals. We are a global community. We are a global educational institution. We are engaged into social activities. We are engaged into online trainings, offline trainings, coaching, and so many webinars we are conducting. This is our 117th webinar, which we are going to promote up today. And also, I would like to say you one more thing, that see, mere educational qualification, friends, is not enough. I think you'll agree that holding a degree, educational degree, is very, very important, extremely important. But I think you will agree with that also, that we should keep on learning. There's no end to learning. So, we have to attend the webinars, conferences. We should, make our level more higher, so that what happens is our knowledge, our skill, everything gets set up in such a level that we are able to compete ourselves in all the things which come in forward of you. So that is the reason IGP keeps on arranging webinars almost every day for you on Facebook Live. So once again, welcome to all of you to this evening webinar. And also, I would like to say one more thing, that this IGP webinar, we are absolutely trying to network all the people who are eager to learn, who are eager to know, who are eager to contribute. So friends, ladies, gentlemen, everyone, to you, this is once again your host for the evening, Rahul Sengupta. And without wasting too much of your time, I would just like to connect to our speaker today evening. We have two eminent speakers this evening, one from Greece and one from India. So we would have the first speaker with us from Greece, and then we will have one more sir, one madam, and one sir will be coming in the next slot. So keep tuned with us. Please stay with us. After this webinar, we will try to have you can raise your question answers for the evening. The speakers would address to you. Then we will have quiz contest. Then we will give the link for the certifications. So everything will happen one by one. So please stay with us till the end. Please share, please comment, and please don't forget to tag your friends. So before that, we will try to move on to our speaker. So I'm just waiting her to get connected. Please support, please share. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon from Greece to all participants. I'm very, very honored to participate for the second time in the global platform of Visit for Global Professionals.
Yeah, we have Rania Lampu from Greece. Let us all welcome ma'am, Rania ma'am, to this session. And ma'am, this is over to you. A short introduction of yours is expected from you. Please tell us, our participants, something, a short brief about you, and you can take the charge.
I'm a global educator. I'm a STEM instructor and neuroeducation researcher. Currently, I'm working at the Greek Ministry of Education at the Directorate of Educational Technology and Innovation, where I'm writing STEM for Greek schools. And I'm also working at the Greek astronomy company, an exophthalmist, where I am a STEM instructor. I have so far 74 the national awards for my STEM projects, and I was selected among the best teachers in the world with the Global Teacher Prize and Global Teacher Award. So, can I start now?
Yes, ma'am, please. Please, ma'am, over to you.
Today, we're going to explore the crucial role of STEM education, not only the job market, but only in the curriculum of the fourth industrial revolution. STEM is the future of education. It's very important. We're going to discuss about this. And in the second part, I'm going to present you some multi-award-winning projects. So may I share my presentation?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Are you facing any problems?
Yes, it's fine. It will work now.
Okay. We are all here. Please. No problem.
So here, can you see it now? It's visible.
Yes,
so,
we can all see, yeah.
You can see the change of slides.
Yes.
Okay. So we are in the age of the fourth revolution, and the fourth industrial revolution is changing the world around us. Artificial intelligence, robotics, big data, and Internet of Things are its new tools. The main challenges are related to the exponential growth of digital tools that include robots, cobots to connect objects and communication systems. The impact on job and industry that these tools are creating is huge. And at the same time, they present huge opportunities. So we need highly skilled, flexible, but at the same time, emotionally and socially intelligent professionals that can solve tomorrow's problem already for today. And here we can say the fourth industrial revolution is actually characterized by the fusion of the digital, biological, and physical worlds, as well as the growing utilization of new technologies, such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, 3D printing, Internet of Things. But at the same time, we are in the COVID period, and we see that Einstein said that crisis brings always progress, is a blessing to humanity. And I strongly believe that actually COVID could be a great resetter for the development of economy, societies, and the development also of education digital skills. So we can see during the COVID pandemic how many innovative approaches have emerged, and we can grasp this opportunity to become better. We're talking about new literacies, data literacy, technological literacy. The most important of all is the human literacy. Why? Because all the experts of the fourth industrial revolution tell us that the fourth industrial revolution has so far failed because we have ignored the human factor. So we are at the threshold of the fifth industrial revolution, and we need the human dimension. We need to focus on the human factor. So teachers can teach maintaining the human character, the human dimension. So we are faced actually with the challenge of redefining the curriculum to keep up with the evolution of skills required to solve problems, to innovate and succeed. As a society, I think that so far we have failed to meet the challenge, and consequently, we are failing to adequately prepare the new generation for the future. How will future generations thrive in the changing landscape? And how can education and providers keep up with this unprecedented level of change? Of course, reshaping curriculum is a considerable change, implying complex decision-making processes and various administrative obstacles. But moving towards a paradigm of lifelong learning, educational institutions also need to evolve to occupy new roles in the ecosystem. It also implies the evolution of existing and emergence of new collaboration patterns. So we're talking about three levels. First of all, the level of collaboration. Different types of collaboration are needed to ensure a multitude of experiential opportunities, including collaboration with industries, with companies, manufacturers, technology providers, startups, other educational institutions via joint platforms, thematic networks, peer-to-peer learning, supporting structures, industries, governments, community. And we need to further increase the collaboration between university and industries in terms of both volume and diversity of collaboration forms, such as internship, apprenticeships, mentoring, think tank competition, summer schools. We need to acknowledge the role of industry partners as educational, research, and employment partners. We need to create more opportunities for exchanging experiences with other educational institutions. We need to facilitate, as I said before, peer-to-peer learning, create effective learning ecosystems that engage all key stakeholders, policymakers, industry, broader community, and we need to shift from a human-machine interaction towards a human-machine collaboration. As far as the content is concerned, we need to, of course, upgrade the technical side of the curriculum to accommodate the learning of new generation robotics, additive manufacturing, spark materials. We need to incorporate, at the same time, non-technical disciplines in the curriculum. Why? Because we need to develop cross-cutting competencies and a mindset beyond technical expertise. That means that we can integrate communication, for example, project management, arts, marketing. We need to pay special attention to what we call questions of ethics, social inclusion, diversity, sustainability. For example, teachers should incorporate the Sustainable Development Goals into the curriculum and offering a holistic view of education. We need to teach students, workers, how to acquire knowledge. I said before, the data literacy. And the learning environment, both physical and virtual, can be organized in different ways. And of course, we're talking about problem-based learning. We're going to see later that STEM is all about problem-based learning. Stimulate creativity. Instead of focusing on standardized thinking, correct answers, and objectivity of judgment, we need to create a learning environment that will stimulate forming of own opinion and divergent interpretations. Create a culture that accepts potential mistakes, potential failures, and create environments that can offer experience relevant to what we call real-world authentic problems and conditions, encourage collaborative learning, and stimulate, of course, technology-enabled learning. The new trends for the education of the fourth industrial revolution is that learning can be taking place anytime, anywhere. Learning will be personalized. Students should have a choice in defining how they want to learn, and their opinion should be considered in designing the curriculum, and should be exposed to what we call more hands-on learning activities. So we're talking about STEM as the economy shifts to a new model that we call knowledge-intensive industry, knowledge-intensive economy. We must meet existing demand for skills and develop the skills of those who will drive future technology. So a competitive STEM-based skills is vital to our future as a knowledge-intensive economy. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and it has appeared the last decade, and because the last years to broaden and diversify science and schools and link it to technology, engineering, mathematics, there has been a push in USA, UK, and some Asian countries towards the concept of STEM. And this concept was actually introduced in 2021 by scientific administrators at the USA National Science Foundation. According to the World Economic Forum, we can see here what are the top 10 skills in 2020. Problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, negotiation, flexibility, emotional intelligence, decision-making. And we talked about before how field-force testing evolution has failed because it has ignored the human factor. That means that we should adopt social emotional learning at the same time with the technology learning. So we need to encourage play-based learning, especially in primary education, develop a growth mindset, foster, of course, critical thinking, reasoning, and analysis, guide discovery learning, and offer appropriate challenge and hands-on activities. Why science? Why science is important? Main characteristics of science: it's empirical, it's inquiry-based, it's based on evidence, it's holistic, it's dynamic. That means it's subject to change, it's unique, it's humanistic, it has values also, and it's based on problem solving. So we would say that STEM projects focus on inquiry and student-led investigations through open-ended real-life problems and hands-on activities, empower students to become out-of-the-box thinkers and creators. So STEM education reflects what we call the 4 Cs of 21st century skills. I think all teachers are aware of them: creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, communication. And what are the attributes and the characteristics of STEM-educated students? They are problem solvers, they are innovators, they are inventors, they are self-reliant, they're logical thinkers, they are technologically literate. And STEM learning should be a lifelong process. This is very important. Should include everyday experiences. Students and teachers should be involved in research. New technologies should determine the content and the practices. Broader social-cultural and political factors should be considered, and students should deal responsibly with technology. If we integrate A in the acronym STEM, we have STEAM. This is the new trend in education. We're talking about STEAM. Why STEAM? Because the value of hard skills to the economy alongside skills in science, technology, engineering, mathematics is very important. Blended skills can help drive activities. So we need creativity, design, and entrepreneurial skills that facilitate innovation and problem solving. So STEAM is actually a interdisciplinary approach that aims to promote research spirit, logical thinking, social skills, empirical inquiry learning, autonomy, arts integration, and active participation of students through trial and errors. Education robotics application, for example, why we need them? Because they can foster children's knowledge of the 4 disciplines and also develop skills emerging from their combined teaching. Imagination, creativity, which is linked to innovation, problem solving, as we said before. Here I want to clarify something. We have 2 categories, types of STEM. We talk about the first one, STEM Unplugged. STEM Unplugged is the STEM that you can do using materials, simple and everyday materials that you can find in your home. For example, cardboards, Lego, breaking straws, everything. And the second one is what we call the STEM, which includes computational thinking. And in this case, you need to use technology and programming, for example, Arduino, Raspberry, etc. Why we need to bring computational thinking to STEM education? First of all, STEM activities are necessary because provide students with confidence and competence to function effectively as informed citizens that can participate to democratic civic decision-making. And these skills are necessary in 21st century skill in order for people to deal with modern life complex situations. And these abilities should be developed from an early age. However, STEM remains a misleading curriculum so far. I mean that many STEM integration is not very well understood by teachers when going to explore, when to talk about this. So computational thinking is a model of thinking which is very important to students. But here I want to say something that contrary to a common perception, that computational thinking belongs to programming and computer science, we should highlight its multifaceted nature. That means that computational thinking is contained in most elements of problem solving that educators are constantly teaching their students. We are teaching, for example, computational thinking concepts in kindergarten when we teach students to process things with steps. We just don't think of it that it's related to computer science. Furthermore, computer science, it's not only about coding, it's about interface design, data analysis, machine learning, cybersecurity, networking, and robotics. Learning computer science encourages creativity, problem solving, ethics, and collaboration skills which are important only for technical careers, but also for every career in all economies. And what are here we can see the components of computational thinking, abstraction, how to see a problem at different levels of details, algorithmic thinking, which is the tendency to see tasks in terms of smaller connected discrete steps, decomposition, how to solve a problem, and solve a problem involves solving a set of smaller problems, how to decompose a bigger problem, and pattern recognition, seeing a new problem as related to problems previously faced. What are the educational technologies that can promote STEM education? Virtual reality. Click your paths. Virtual reality is important education. Why? Because it engages students. It's an immersive technology that it has been also used in the game industry. And this is an experience more motivating for students. Studies show that the virtual environment can stimulate learning comprehension. For example, there are programs that can help understand that still students understand scientific concepts in a more complete way. For example, distribution of forces in electric field. And we have clickers or keypads. It's a classroom technology that allows students to respond and interact through a small handheld transmitters. And clickers usually have a 10-digit numeric keypad and not only send a signal, but also indicate whether it was received. Each clicker has a unique signal, and as a result, the student who answers can be identified and recorded. So answers can be played on the projection screen, and clickers are an effective tool, especially in large classes, because they engage students by enhancing their active participation and joy of the class, and they increase attention and retention. They are more effective when they are combined, of course, with peer and collaborative learning. Flipped classroom, we all know about this, and Massive and MOOCs. MOOCs bring a new perspective to traditional distance education, but they are still at early ages. There are many challenges related to MOOCs, and provide high productivity utilization of high technology for free or at a low cost. Internet of Things, we all know, it's a network of connected physical real objects with embedded computational networking capabilities. And in this way, the physical world is linked through the web, and smart buildings, homes, and cities that can be created. And we have also Internet of Me. Internet of Me includes smart watch, smart clothes, smart glasses, what we call wearable technologies. And wearable technologies have many applications in education and training. With wearable technologies, learning can happen anywhere, anytime. We have also, very, very important, cloud computing. Cloud computing provides access to resources that can be requested and configured by the user. Cloud computing can provide learning services such as virtual worlds, simulations, video streaming. It gives teachers the necessary tools for lectures and labs according to the learner's needs. Teachers can create virtual computers, collaboration tools, and new scenarios and innovation are possible through cloud computing. So far we have seen a progress, a significant improvement in STEM supplies, but a lot we need a lot to do. A lot more to do. Here we can see, I want to clarify something about gender gap STEM-based skills. It's very important because changing the impression that science is only for boys is a huge challenge, and we know that the number of girls pursuing many STEM subjects is lower than that of their male counterparts, and this results in the fact that we have a STEM workforce with low representation of women. So we need urgent action is needed to ensure that the talent pool for STEM industries is attractive for both women and girls. Getting more girls and young women to the sector has a huge potential for the economy and women themselves in terms of career satisfaction and earnings. STEM in higher education, higher STEM education plays a substantial role in providing such a competent workforce. And rapidly, as said before, changing society needs highly qualified STEM professionals to develop solutions to the problems it is facing. And also, it is interesting here to see a very interesting minded research, which is called the Row study, the relevance of science education study. This study has revealed that young people so far show a low interest in STEM, and many students regard STEM jobs as very difficult and risky. They lack a robust self-efficacy in science, and they're easily repelled by this. They lack a sense of relevance of science and technology, for example, to environmental issues. They have lacked training in everyday practices and competencies of STEM professionals, which results in low levels of interest and decreasing performance among students in STEM. And of course, this lack or loss of interest contrasts with our world's growing problems, which are called for urgent technological innovation based on scientific research, such as issues of energy, sustainability, climate change. And this Row study reveals that we all know about this, science as it is taught today all around the world does not help students realize its importance to society. The often fragmented manner in which STEM courses such as mathematics, physics, geography, mechanics, electricity are taught in secondary education does not appeal to students and causes them to lose their interest in science and technology. And also, school science does not resemble real-world science problem, therefore does not prepare students to tackle real-world problems which often require interdisciplinary approaches. Therefore, we must return to an early stage of the educational system and focus on secondary STEM education from the perspective of a higher STEM education. To ensure a highly qualified enrollment in STEM education, we need to bridge this gap between secondary and higher STEM education. So what is the place of STEM education now in schools? The place of STEM is vital to provide a sustainable long-term answer to the shortages we face. We need an engaging and relevant curriculum. Annual education a skill survey in England showed that 39% of companies had difficulties in recruiting staff with STEM skills and knowledge over the last 12 months, and over half were expecting problems in the next 3 years. And the problem was particularly in manufacturing engineering. So we need a step change that has to begin to start from primary education, actually, because according to research, by the time young people reach secondary school, many of them have already switched off to science subject, reducing engagement, limiting outcomes, and decreasing the number who pursue the study of science to a higher level. So what happens about the science education at primary school? Of course, primary school teachers face a set of challenges. For example, they can't find easily curriculum time, the level of priority given to science, the confidence of primary teachers to teach science, and a relative lack of professional development around the subject. According to a recent survey, over half of teachers in England reported that science becomes less important in the curriculum, with many schools setting aside too little teaching time. So there has been a concern about the impact of teachers' weak subject knowledge or confidence on pupils' development in science, and weak subject knowledge in teachers contributes, of course, to low confidence and poor pedagogical skills. We can all understand that a teacher who lacks confidence is unlikely to inspire students or change their perceptions that science is only for brainy people. A latest report notes that teachers must recognize the limitations of their scientific knowledge and know how to address this. Another important research which was conducted in Australia, interesting, among pre-service primary school teachers showed this conclusion that pre-service teachers should have experience in STEM in order to apply the knowledge received the principles efficiently. Science knowledge and sound pedagogical practices should be integrated in order for teachers to practice STEM teaching in an optimal manner. Ongoing professional training, STEM education necessary for all teachers, and STEM should include school and non-school activities. Why we need STEM education programs for teachers? Because we need to reinforce teachers' core science knowledge. We need to enhance their pedagogical knowledge in teaching STEM, improve their ability to conduct experiments, to revise models, prototypes, to reinforce their scientific skills, and of course to promote 21st century skills. So how I was involved, what is my experience? I had a chance to participate in a very innovative and pioneering program which is organized in CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, and it's called Playing with Protons, and it's about how to teach modern physics, in particular particle physics, to primary school students. It's a program which is organized by the CMS, CERN, in particular the CMS Experiment, and it was supported by Creations Program, European program, and later it's supported by the Atlas also experiment and by the European programs Reinforce and Frontiers. What is the idea behind this program? The idea is that, according to research, children should be taught science, scientific concepts at an early age. Why? Because children, the exposure of young students to science results in the development and adoption of a positive attitude towards it. That early exposure to scientific phenomena prompts to a better comprehension of scientific terms studied formally later. That children this way can understand scientific concepts and reason scientifically. And also that children normally find pleasure in observing and contemplating nature. It's not accidental that CERN organizes STEM workshops for students in preschool age. So you can, with a great success, you can understand how important it is to expose students to science at an early age. As I said before, it's a program which promotes STEM literacy vision in primary school teachers, and it's actually a continuing professional development program. What happens, 10 teachers from Greece and 10 teachers from UK visit CERN installations, and there they receive a training. They learn how to experiment with different materials, similar everyday materials, and in order to be familiarized with complex and abstract notions, concepts of particle physics. And when they return to their countries, they have to transfer this knowledge to their peers, to their students, to their colleagues. So I participated in this program as a flexible zone teacher. I had students from 6 to 11 years old, and the 5 thematic session of this program was actually cosmology, elementary particles, introduction to CERN, accelerators, detectors, and creative zone. The goal is to enable primary school teachers to invent innovative scenarios and lesson plans, to motivate our students and enrich the curriculum at the same time, to help them get acquainted with new teaching approaches based on hands-on activities and experiments, to diffuse the knowledge they acquired at CERN to their colleagues, as I said before, and feel confident when they teach science. Well, of course, we're talking about collaboration, problem solving, as I said before. And what is the scientific model that we follow? Phase 1 question, students investigate scientifically oriented question. Evidence, students give priority to evidence. They analyze evidence, they formulate explanations, they connect explanations to scientific knowledge, they communicate, and they reflect on the acquired process and their learning. I will show you some photos about this, about my project. My students create simulated physics, they perform physics experiment, they create colleges, digital representation. They depicted the particle CMS detector using a variety of materials and techniques in multiple ways, including wood, Lego, three-dimensional printing, and many things. I'm going to show you this. Apart from this, I am I'm a STEM instructor. I'm an active member of the Greek Astronomy Space Company, organization with broad interest in astronomy, disseminates knowledge, astrophysics to the general public through observatory educational activities, but also to underprivileged children. So I'm a STEM instructor also to refugees and for refugees and children with special education needs. And what we're going to do, we collaborate towards the popularization of complex concepts of astronomy for the layperson, but as I said before, the privileged children. And we trying to increase scientific knowledge, help students, but also adults. I forgot to say that. We are organizing workshops also for adults, help them acquire scientific literacy. We help them acquire some elements of the scientific method, to adopt and develop scientific attitude towards natural and artificial environment, to help them express themselves artistically. I talked before about STEM education, arts, to collaborate in the production of original works of art, and to increase their interest in STEM and science-related careers. Here I want to say something, that, of course, the objective of the program of CERN that I mentioned before was not to teach our students particle physics at this age. This was not the goal. The goal is make them love science at an early age. This is the goal. And we achieved this because at the end of the academic year, all my students told me that I want to be a physicist, I want to go to CERN. So this goal succeeded. When I teach STEM, I always adopt a mixed and eclectic model that integrates elements from various learning theories, methodological approaches, such as inquiry teaching model, constructivism, cooperative model, project-based learning, problem, inquiry, challenge-based learning, and also new technologies during the program were used because I had a chance to participate and win in the national competition, a 3D printing Ultimaker. And so we created many 3D models of particle CMS detector. I'm going to show you this. And the most important of all is when we talk about STEM, we talked about the disciplinarity. For example, in this project of STEM, I approached everything. It was a full holistic approach: astronomy, physics, chemistry, mathematics, mythology, history, philosophy, foreign languages, arts, theater, music, painting. Everything was there. And here I want to say what is the difference between interdisciplinarity and STEM education, which STEM is an interdisciplinary approach. When you want to do an interdisciplinary program, for example, you try to teach environment from a mythological or geological or historical point of view. This is interdisciplinarity. When you're doing STEM, in one project, you involve many different cognitive disciplines. You try to develop skills from various. This is the magic of STEM, and I'm going to show you an example about this. This is a recent program that I did with my students, and which is called the Contribution of Technology for Protection of the Environment. And here we used Arduino. It's about how to improve health of residents in cities, and it's obviously requires computational thinking. And here I want to show you some examples about the program of STEM that I mentioned before. We produced a huge, very rich audiovisual digital material that you can find easily also on internet and on my channel YouTube. We created many artistic representations, many videos, for example, about galaxies, about many interactive exercising games using free digital tools. We created a digital 3D timeline which shows all the history events from Marie Curie time till today. And we showed also all the stages of Big Bang, many theatrical events, It is important because students wrote the script. It is very, very important, and were presented during the closing ceremony. Here are some examples of our workshops: how to build a spectrometer using serial box, simulation of asteroids hitting Earth, how to build a telescope, constellations, the Big Dipper, solar and lunar eclipses, supernovas. Forgot to say that I'm also an author of scientific books for kids. My latest book transfers astronomy knowledge. It's addressed to students of 5 years old and above. And it's very original because it combines astronomy with humor. What is the concept? The planets leave the solar system and leave their places and visit Earth. And there, a naive and humoristic journalist takes an interview from them. And the planets reveal their character, their personality through humoristic dialogues. This is the success of this book. It's actually about how to transfer in original way scientific knowledge, and it also has many pedagogical applications because you can suggest many STEM projects, for example, construction of a solar system or theatrical representations and dramatization. So here is program. Here is, you can see the particle Cms detector as it is located at CERN. And this is the inner structure. This is what we did with my students. Collages of the particle Cms detector using drinking straws and pills, using jewelry, wooden representation of the Cms detector. 3D printing, as I said before, a rather challenging project. It lasted, I think, 100 hours for the printing and 100 hours for assembling. Artist representations, so for example, here the LHC, Large Hadron Collider, of the particle Cms detector, of particle collisions, art at CMS exhibition, models of the CMS particle detector using Lego, you can see here, representation of Higgs boson. We also used the astronomy and science. You can see how we depicted CMS also as a dessert. Globe of Science and Innovation, 3D printing and painting. LHC here and CERN 3D printing. Maquettes of CERN. Portraits of famous natural scientists. Here we can see Einstein. Of course, models of the solar system, of galaxies, and the history of the universe, Big Bang, all phases. And here it's a project that you can find on YouTube on my channel. It is called Simulation of the Cms Experiment with LED flash circuit and LED chaser circuit. It's a rather difficult project. You can find it. Artist representations of particles, models of the Atlas detector using the technique shadow and light, collage of the particle detector using the app HP Reveal of augmented reality on mobile and tablet, virtual gallery, collection of the best paintings at the art at CMS. Here you can see how we depicted also the faces of the moon with little children using Oreo cookies. So again, gastronomy and science. And here I want to say that I am among the first educators on a global level that introduce STEM, not only astronomy and physics, but also in language teaching. How this happened? Last year, I presented a very popular live show. It was addressed to English language teachers. And this program, this lesson plan, it's called Science Says No to Bullying. And this lesson plan includes a physics experiment. Here we can see how we demonstrated to the classroom to create a battery made of lemons. So it's the first one. And also, children, we experimented with different materials. And you can see here, for example, through the interactive worksheet. And they say, children, if I use, for example, safety pin, will the bulb light up? So what happens? They do the experiment, but at the same time, they learn English grammar, English conditionals, and English grammar. So at the same time they do the experiment, they learn English grammar. This is the magic of STEM. And what happened later? Why science say no to bullying? Why bullying? Here you can see that we have 5 yellow lemons and one green lemon. The green lemon is the one who is victim of bullying. So we integrate actually sociology also in our program. And at the end, all this is represented through drama. So you can see that the magic here of STEM is that it actually includes here in one project, we explore physics, English, language teaching, sociology, and arts, theater. This is the magic of STEM. In one project, you can do everything. And the latest trend of STEM is called integrated STEM. Integrated STEM means how to combine two or more cognitive disciplines in one project. And also, as I said before, I'm a volunteer to students for students in the ecological hospital, and you can see it's amazing then how they light up when they are engaged in STEM activities. We're talking about students who suffer from severe depression and terminal diseases, and also for refugees. This is another project I have done. And all these projects have, as I said before, have so far received 74 the national awards. And not only I'm the national coordinator of many the national projects that are implemented mostly in Africa and Asia. They're humanitarian. They are based also on sustainable development goals. For all this project, I was selected among the best teachers in the world with the Global Teacher Prize, Global Teacher Award, also as a global icon by the national magazine Passion Vista, among the 100 also successful women in the world, and among the top 10 women entrepreneurs in the world, featuring Fortune India magazine. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question, I am at your disposal.
Oh, that was a wonderful session. I would like to thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful takeaway. Every participant has, I guess, had taken away a lot of learnings from today evening session on future of education. It was a splendid discussion with a diversification of the options available at your end, and I think this is going to continue. We'll try and get into more into it so that the participants out here keep on engaging themselves. And thank you, IGP, for arranging such a program, ma'am. Can you just please stay with us if at the end of the session we have one more speaker to come in, and then probably we may have some question answers. So would you like to stay with us for some time?
Yes, of course, you can stay.
Okay, so I think we should thank ma'am for giving such a wonderful session from the busy schedules she had taken out, and imparting us so much of knowledge, enlightening us. So thank you very much, ma'am. On behalf of IGP, this is Rahul, your host for the evening. We are so glad to have you this evening, and please stay with us for some time. We have one more speaker to come in about the same topic, future of education, and then we'll take the question answers from the participants. Is it okay with you, ma'am?
Yes, it's okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Please stay with us. Thank you so much. You can okay. So I think we would definitely like to thank everyone. We should like to thank ma'am that she's given such a wonderful session today. Thanks to ma'am Rania Lampo, and this is once again Rahul Sengupta, your host for the evening. All the participants are requested to stay back till the end, because once you stay back, you can gain more knowledge from IGP webinars. It's a free international webinar, and please don't forget to tag your friend. Please don't forget to share, comment, and collect your certificates at the end. We'll give the participation certificate link at the end of the session. We'll have question answer, and we'll have quiz contest also running. So it's time to get to our the second speaker for the evening. I would like to introduce him. He's Sir Dr. Ravindra Pathak, and he's from India. Sir Ravindra Pathak is online with us. Sir, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. This is Rahul, your host for the evening, and thank you and welcome from IGP, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, since we would like to have few words from you, all the participants would like to know a few words about you, and then you can take the session forward, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Sengupta-ji. I am Dr. Ravindra Pathak. I am just working as an associate professor in mechanical engineering department, and I am working from the long time on the education and how we can just enhance the quality of education. So I am working for that, and I worked in just Ethiopia, Africa also. And at the time, I worked for the community service for the poor peoples. And at the time, I just realized that how the ICT tools can be used for the education. So today's my presentation about that Industry 4.0 and what are the factors and how these things can be affect the education systems. So today I will discuss about that. So now I am just sharing my screen. Sir, is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it is coming, sir. I think it's buffering. Yeah, we can see your screen, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please continue, sir. Please.
Yeah, so today just we are discussing about that a framework for transferable skills for Industry 4.0 and Education 4.0. So today just we are discussing about that how the Industry 4.0 is affecting the Education 4.0. So as Madam also discussed about the Industry 4.0, because as
hello sir, hello
yes,
sir.
Sir.
Sorry for interruption, sir. Make it presentation mode.
Presentation.
Yeah, make your screen in presentation mode.
Okay, I will stop sharing.
First of all, share your entire screen, then open your PPT.
Okay.
Minimize it, sir. Minimize it.
Minimize.
Yeah.
Now
Then
okay.
make it. Yeah. Now make it presentation mode. Yeah. Now you can continue, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
So just today we are discussing about that a framework for transferable skills for Industry 4.0, that is the Education 4.0. So basically we are discussing about that what are the skills that can be transferred from Industry 4.0 to Education 4.0. Because as we know that if you will see what is the future of education. So future of education is directly related with the technology. As we understand that now the COVID time, everything is coming very early. So first of all, we discuss about that what is the industrial revolution is just around the corner. That first of all, that is the first industrial revolution, that is around 1760 to 1900. So at the time we know that we started the use of steam engine and mechanically driven production facilities. Okay. So after what happens at the time, if you see that why we call the industrial revolution, because at the time the industry was started. Okay, same that if you will compare with the education system is also started at the same time. Then in the second industrial revolution, that electric power driven mass production based on division of labor. So at that time we discussed about the different type of management system also, and we started the electric power also. Okay, so we can see that the difference of first industrial revolution and second industrial revolution, the speed is faster and the production is the mass production. Okay. Then if you will see the third industrial revolution, that is the 1970 to date, extensive use of controls, information technology, electronics for an automated and high productive environment. And now as we see that is the fourth industrial revolution. So that is the future, smart based on integration of virtual and physical production system. So why we are discussing about this first to fourth industrial revolution? because this all industrial revolution is basically related with the technological development. We started our work from the steam, and now just we are going to the virtual and physical production system. So that is the our industrial production. So here you can see that first, second, third, and fourth. And if you will just convert into the words, so that is the mechanization first, okay, water power, steam power. Second, that is the mass production, assembly line, electricity. Third is computer and automation, and fourth is the cyber physical system. So now just we are working on the cyber physical system, and that is our future of education system. Because now in education also, just we are introducing the cyber physical system. So here you can see that there are different ecosystems. You can just think that these are the word as using the cyber security, cloud computing, big data, advanced manufacturing systems, mass customization. So here you can see that that is the industry 4's components. By this industry 4 is built and now working within this system. So here we can see that Internet of Things, 3D printings, cloud computing, big data. These are the important aspect of the industry 4.0. And now what we are doing in the future of the education, these things will be going into the education system. Now this 3D printing is not only using for the space, we are using for the education system also, for teaching purpose also, for understanding of the complicated objects also. So these things is coming into the education. So here we can see that the need for education 4.0 framework. We are discussing about that. What are the frameworks needed? So we know that first thing is that is the agricultural economy, and then industrialized economy, knowledge economy, that is the 20th century, and that is the innovation society 21st century. And now we are entering into the innovation society. We need to innovation for sustainability. We need to innovation for the education. So if we see that we are just started from the agriculture and we just reached up to the innovation. So what is the role of the education? Of course, our all system is based on the good education systems. If we will build the good education system, we will just build the good students, then these students will be converted into the researcher, and this system will be go further. So the innovation is very, very important, okay, for our industry 4.0 and education 4.0. So here we can see that. So what is the education 4.0? If you will see into words actually different. So first thing is that anywhere, anytime. So we know that after the internet, just if the good accessibility, then this education go anywhere, anytime. Before COVID-19, as I am also the teacher, I understand that this system will become education 4.0 can become into the practical, but that was very difficult because the shipment from the classroom to the virtual classroom was very difficult. But due to the COVID-19, and that is only the one positive side, that we are adopting the change. Okay, just we are in the 6 months to 1 year, just we are very good ahead around 2 to 3 years. So now that is the first thing is that the education 4.0's advantage is that anywhere and anytime. Second thing is that there is a personalized things. As we just as we seen that in the classroom, just we go for the for the mob, just we are teaching for the whole students. But when we discussed in the tech savvy system, just we are teaching to the virtual, then we go for the personal. Flexible deliveries. Now just as you are just I am discussing into this webinar, then what is the flexible delivery? Now the things are going into the Bangladesh, now India, and then these simultaneously. So that is the system, that is the flexible delivery, and we are just getting the advantages of this. Now that is the peers and mentors. Here this system is very easy because of connectivity. Why, where, not what, how. Now we are just discussing about that how this is happening, not why or where. Practical application. Now, as I told you that due to this virtual system, due to this cyber physical systems, we can show each and everything to the students. So that is the very practical applications of this education 4.0, and we can show the students to each and everything. Modular and projects. Now the projects and modular systems is very easy, and due to this education 4.0, things is very easy. Student ownership. Now a student can control the things. Evaluated, not examined. So as I discussed that, now this education 4.0 is based on the innovation. And if these things is the based on the innovation, then we are not going into the evaluated, we are going to the evaluated, not for the examined. And if you will see this education 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, so at that time, the whole system is based on the examined. If I discussed about this, our Asian countries, then we are very particular about the examination systems. So these are the some advantages of this education 4.0. You can see these advantages, and you can consider also the component, because by these things, this education 3.0 is converted into the education 4.0. So here, if we will see the words, I mean, I'm not going into the depth, but here you can see that there is the dictated. If we'll see the education 1.0, then education 2.0 is converted into the socially constructed, usually with the aid of the internet access. This internet access was only the part in the developed country. Okay, if we'll discuss about the developing country, okay, like in India also, and as my experience in Ethiopia also, now even this internet access is very difficult. So that is third system, that is the knowledge producing education 3.0. So that is a social constructed and contextually reinvented knowledge. Okay, now this is the innovation producing 4.0. So here we can see that built through selective individuals and team-driven focused innovation practice. So here you can see that if we'll see from our starting, from education 1.0 to education 4.0, so we can see the difference in them. Another thing is that if we will see, that is the technological part. So in education 1.0, confiscated at the classroom door. Okay. Then cautionly education 2.0, the cautionly adopted open access. Okay, digital immigrants. Then third thing is that knowledge producing education 3.0, everywhere, digital natives in a digital universe, and knowledge construction and transmission. Okay, so if you will see this innovation producing, so learner act as a charging with the direct input of learner's source. So here we can see that the things of the education 4.0. So here two things. First, if you will see from education 1.0 to education 4.0, the things will be changed from the normal condition to the innovative condition. Now, what is the teaching? If you will see the evolution of education 4.0 in the teaching sense, then teachers to a student, education 2.0, teachers to student and student to student. Internet resources are a normal part of learning activities. And if you will see this education 3.0, teachers to student, student to student, student to teacher, people, technology, people. So every person will be learning to each other. Now if you will see this innovation producing education 4.0 amplified by positive innovations, feedback loops, and creativity. So now we know that if you will see the difference from the education 1.0 to education 4.0, previously only the teachers can be transfer the knowledge to the student. Now if you see that there are the lots of innovative ideas by the teachers are also learning the things, because sometimes what happened, if you see the technology is the very our new generation is very used to the new technology, so they are just doing some innovations, and sometimes teacher also the getting from the knowledge. So here you can see that this we are working from the student to student also, and sometimes student teachers also. Now if you will see about the schools, about the education institutes, so here you can see that in the education 1.0, that is the building, simply that is the brick. If you will see the 2.0, that is a building on online, but increasingly on the web through hybrid or full internet courses. Then third, and in third, if you will see that everywhere in the creative society through infused through society, cafes, bars. And is fourth, innovation producing in the globally network human body continuously evolving instrument for the education. So here we discuss about that everything is changed. Technology is changed. Teachers is also changed. Schools is the change. Now everything on the virtual, and we are just increasing the use of technology, and now the shifting the roles of teachers also, and now shifting the formation of the schools also. So that is the evolution of education 4.0. So here if you will see just that, if we take the Z, that is the education 4.0. So education 1, the centuries of experience with memorizations. That was our basic conceptual things. So if you can just memorize the things, then it will be the beneficial for you. Now, if you will see this education 2.0, so education 2.0 is internet enabled learning. Third is consuming and producing knowledge, lots of knowledge. And education 4.0, empowering education to produce innovation. So here we can see that what are the changes from the education 1.0 and to 4.0. And now if we are shifting from this education 4.0 to education 5.0, then you can see that what will be our next step. Here we are using our memorizations also, okay, and we are using the internet-based learning also, and just now that is the big data analysis. Yes, we have lots of knowledge, and now with the help of the internet, now with the help of the computers, with the help of the society, just we are analyzing the thing, and just we are using this technology for the practical application for the society. That is basically we are working for the benefit to the society. Because if you will see the innovation, what is the purpose of innovation? What is the end users of the innovation? The end users of the innovation is the society. Ultimately, just we are getting the benefit from the teaching system to our society. That is the shifting. That is shifting from the teaching part to the society. So that is the biggest advantage of education 4.0. So here we can see that is the future of e-learning, because we know that the e-learning was from the distance courses. If you will see in just perspective of the Asia also, the distance courses was started from 10 years before. So now we will see that the MOOCs, massive open online courses. So here in everywhere, in every university, these MOOC courses are started. Gamification courses will include games, challenges, interactive elements, opportunity to develop studies. So here you can see that the e-learning means that is the mixing of the concept. Previously, this MOOC, open online courses was the different, gamification is the different, mobile learning was different, social learning was different, personalization was the different. Okay, so everything will be working in the particular area. But now if you see that everything will be mixing, and that is the enhancing the quality of the education. So here you can see that the social media will be more integrated in the learning environment. Facebook used to provide materials, intersection activities to build the learning communities, Twitter for introduction. So everything we are just learning for the social media also. We are just learning for the MOOC also. We are learning from the mobile learning courses also. Okay. So here personalizations, that is a very important factor of that. That is the teachers and educators will implement a more personalized approach to teaching and training based on each individual's unique competence, learning preferences. So here we can see that the e-learning with the help of the education 4.0, now in which direction is going on. Things will be going from the MOOC, gamification, mobile learning, and social learning. So these are the advantage of education 4.0, and now just we are getting benefited from these all factors. So here we can see that just like education 1.0, 2.0 up to the 4.0. So here we can see that what are the changes is done. So first of all, if you will see the 1990s, that is the traditional and computer assistant training. So at the time the computer was evaluated and then information technology was just introduced. After that, there is the e-learning area. So material online sometimes, okay, the things will be supporting mode. The online was the supporting mode. It was just for enhancing the effectiveness of the education system. Then 2005 plus the blended and informal learning, mixing all forms of media with informal learning so on demand and integrated program. But now just we are in education 4.0, that is the collaborative, talent driven learning, formalized informal learning, collaboration and talent management by design. So that is the personalized things we are working for each students. We try to understand what are the qualities of particular students and how we can enhance the quality of personal quality of the students. We can just focus on the one student and we can enhance the capabilities of the particular students. So these are the biggest advantage of education 4.0. So what are the challenges for workforce? Because ultimately what we are doing, these things, this education system is converted into the workforce, because the ultimate requirement of every student is that how they can get the job. First of all, rapid changes of the necessary qualification. Previously, as we know that the degree was very valuable, but now the skills are important. So there is a rapid change of necessary qualifications. Ergonomically improvement through the use of the robots. Now we know that the robots is using everywhere. So we need to improve the knowledge of students also, so they can operate the robot. Suppose in the education system, we are not introducing the robot, we are not just introducing how to control this, how to manage this, then it will be difficult. That is the challenge for the workforce. Creation for the new jobs for highly skilled workers in the areas of planning, configurations, and maintenance of the new technology. So these are the new area where the working environment is developing. Expansions of low skilled workers through use of robots and assisting systems. So that is the applications of this. Extensive controls and monitoring of worker behavior and performance. So these are the challenges for the workforce. Increased expectation regarding individual flexibility. So that is the biggest challenges for the workforce. Because what will happen, the automation, the cyber physical system is changing environment very rapidly. Okay, previously this was happened, but it takes time, maybe 5 years, 10 years. But now we see that after every 6 months, after every 1 year, the things is changing. The automation is adopting. Now we know that the before 5 years in the Germany, this industry 4.0 is started, and they started the black factories concept. Black factories concept means where no use of light, where no need of the human beings. So this was started in the Germany, US, and now this is coming into the developing countries also. Now this is the Asian countries also. So you can see that what are the challenges for the workforce. So what are the education requirements? So in 20th century, if we just compare with our workforce, that is a 20% we need the professionals, 30% we need the mercantile and office workers, and 50% for the physical labor. But now we need to change our education system according to the present requirement. So what is the need of 21st century requirement? The need of 21st century requirement is minority of unqualified temporary and seasonal workers, approximately 1/8 only. Hardworking, self-educated workers with the initiative to manage their own work and time, it is 7 to 8. Okay, so we can understand that now the things is the changing. Before that, what happens? We need to few managers, we need to some office staff, and after that, the physical labor will just control the system. There is a need of the system. But now what is happening, the things will be automated, and we need to each and every person is qualified, and we need to that they can control the on work at the time. So these are the education requirement, and according to that we need to change the system. So here if you will see that is the 5 I's of learning in the education 4.0. First off, imbibing, that is the internalizing basic concepts. We have to connect the basic concepts internally. So what will happen, the students can be just learn the one thing, then it can be easily connected to the others. Iterating, practicing fundamental skills, because without practicing the skill cannot be enhanced. Interpreting, taking facts from the study and apply them to different situations with adaptive alternation. Why we are just focusing on that? Because if you will see the software engineers, you can understand that what is the things is changing. In every 6 months, the software is changing, and for the software engineers need to change after 6 months. So if we will not do these things, taking facts from the study and applying them to different situations with adaptive alternation. So that is the requirement of education 4.0, as well as that is the requirement of the 21st century. Interest. Developing enough curiosity about the subject so as to develop deep and create further body of the knowledge. Previously, things was depend on the memorizing for the understanding, but now things are going very fast. So we need to give more knowledge to the students, and this is possible only when the interest can be developed to the students. Innovating. Innovation is the keyword of education 4.0. Innovating, think differently, come up with the original concepts, and build innovative ideas, products, and services. So if you see that there are lots of companies are working on the innovative based ideas. So this is the new word we know that is startup. So what is the startup? The startup is the product of the education 4.0. The innovation is coming through the education 4.0, and that is the just combined with the industry 4.0, and we are getting something very good. That is the form of the startups. The young generation is just generating the employment and giving the employment to the others also. So that is the good things from the education 4.0. So here the building the eyes in the education 4.0 imbibe from different sources. Boredom sets in easily to today's students. So there is need to infuse excitement from visual and inputs. So why we need that? Because if you will see that what is the difference between education 3.0 and education 4.0, here that is the virtual physical systems. You can show the each and everything to the students in practical form, in actual form. They can feel that. Okay, so that is the we need to incorporate that. Use multiple sources. The internet is the best friends, films, experience, everything we can just share with that. Change source materials year after year, keeping the curriculum at the leading edge. So that is the fundamental things of the framework of the education 4.0. We are working on that, and how we can just enhance the interest of the student, and how we can change the curriculum according to the industry requirement. Iterate through funds. So now, as we discussed previously also, we need to gamification. So gamify tests, run them a competitions. So these things will be enhance the capability of the students and also increase the effectiveness of the education 4.0. Subject championships as teams evaluated through the years. Okay, redefine assignments as challenges where more and more elements of knowledge can be synthesized. So these are the parts of the education 4.0. If these things will be just enhance the knowledge of the students, and whenever it will be combined to the technology, then it will definitely increase the effectiveness of the system. Interpret from students, teams, and give open-ended projects, because innovation will become only through the project involving sports or other avenues. Okay, so here the things will be from economics, for science, for maths. Just we can change the theme, we can change the system, but thing is that every student will be just engaged into the project, and project should be through the internet based, through the learning based, through the technology based, so that they can be increase the capability to understand the technology. Interest. Cover one part of the concept in class and get a group of students to deliver the remaining parts. So because that is the very good point with the education 4.0, you can easily just enhance the interest of the students. Because previously we are working on the particular curriculum, just we are very particular about the particular content, classroom teaching. But now if we will just mix up the technology with your curriculum, then easily we can enhance the interest. So this is the very beauty of the education 4.0. With the technological development, with the help of the virtual physical systems, we can easily increase the interest of the students. Innovate. Innovation is the prime area of the education 4.0, and that is the fruit of education 4.0. That is the result of education 4.0 to the society. So for this innovate, go cross-discipline groups of teachers, subject to craft year-long projects with the presentations. So if the students will be just engaged with the project, then of course they will go for some innovations. Initially, that is possible that the innovation will be at the small level, but after some times things will be changed and students can be start on startups. Just we are doing the same thing into the universities. Just we are engaging the students into the various projects, and after this 1 year project, most of the students will be convert into the as a startups. So these are the education 4.0. So what are the benefits of education 4.0? For manufacturers, the addition of many more students with nationally portable industry certifications would reduce the shortage of higher skilled workers. Why I connected this industry 4.0 to the education 4.0? Because where if you see that the industry 4.0 is the highest point, the automation. So at that point, we need to highly skilled worker, and highly skilled worker will become only after the implementation of industry 4.0 into the education 4.0. And that is the biggest advantage of education 4.0, that you can get the highly skilled workers, ensuring that all students as well equipped to secure productive employment in their chosen career pathway. Because with the application of industry education 4.0, the students can be easily enhance the knowledge, and they can get the suitable job according to the particular capabilities of the students. For the economy, having a larger number of students with more advanced technology skills will increase company willingness to invest in new equipment, softwares, which will elevate labor productivity, faster productivity growth. So basically, how the economy can be growth? Economy can be growth only after the increasing the productivity. And how the productivity will be increased? Productivity will be increased when we will reduce the uses of main, machine, and material. So main, machine, and material, these things we can use laser only with the help of the technological advancement. And this industry 4.0 is the technological advancement, and by only with this help we can we can increase the productivity, and overall we can minimize the cost of the products. So ultimately the profit will be go to the our economy. So here you can see that education paradigms that must change to implement education 4.0. Here the requirement of the basic knowledge, computer interface with thinking, learning occurs individually, the empty container paradigm. Okay, so here, and that is the zeal of all our presentations, all my presentations. Here, if we will just include these four things, then we can implement education 4.0 easily into our current system. So here, this is the four things. If you will just understand about the present situation and what are the requirement of the particular system, that is the complexity, volatility, ambiguity, and uncertainty. Here you can see that when we need to change the system from the education 3.0 to education 4.0, education 4.0 to education 5.0. So these are the factors. I'm not going into the very depth into the system, but that is the factors by which you can find out that we can convert this system or not. So here you can see that complexity, and every systems have some complex system. So we need to understand and we need to change accordingly. Volatility, uncertainty, ambiguity. So these are the more factors by the any systems. If we will change these systems with this point, then only we can just shift from the one system to the another system. So what is the complexity in our research and teaching activities? Because now also we are doing the same, but we are not getting the good benefit of these systems. Now also we are on the way, just we are not reaching but to the particular system. So first of all, increasing diversity among the students, multi-ethnic, cultural, full-time versus vocationally. So these things we need. The omnipresence of mobile devices and social medias, modular study programs, a variety of available settings, format, technologies, e-learnings, blended learnings, growing demands in terms of studability, employability, high scored in all kinds of ranking. Rapid progress in virtually any discipline, the emergence of cross and transdisciplinary programs. So these are the factors, these are the system by which we can just decrease the complexity in our research and teaching activities. And whenever the things will be added, then things will be go in a better way. So here we can see that why this education 4.0 can be successful. What are the basis of the successful of the industry education 4.0? here you can see that the massive increase in ICT usage. 1.2 billion personal computers, that is also the counting is going on. 1.6 plus billion internet users, 1.4 billion telephone and landlines, 4 billion TV sets, and 5 billion cell phones. So here the things are also is going in a broader way. So when we see that, when we understand that how this education 4.0 can be successful, then with the help of this ICT only, the things can be go into the better way, and by the development of the infrastructure. Because as I am giving the example of the African countries, in the African countries, in the major cities, or the internet not available, then how we can assume that in the internal parts of the country, into the rural parts of the country, the education can be benefited from the education 4.0. So now we can start at the working of the education 4.0, but at the when the infrastructure cannot be just developed up to this level, then we cannot be educated every student according to the our education 4.0 system. So here, what we can do? We can use contemporary methods, models of teaching learning, problems and research-based learning, incorporating in the model how human learning's use of brain-based techniques. So here, with the help of the education 4.0 system, with the help of the cyber physical systems, we can just incorporate in our teaching system with the different model, different teaching and research-based learning. These things is possible now only with the advancement of the technology, advancement of the internet. So here, that is the competence of the 21st century. We need to critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, and research and development. So here we need to these interpersonal skills, the ability to of realizing, information processing, and ability to change learning. So these are the things is required into the 21st century, and that is our duty that we can educate to the students, and this is the possible only when we can educate to the students according to the our technological advancement. So here these are the 10 key skills. Complex problem solving, that is the first requirement of the each and every students who can be participate as a workforce into the industry. Critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with the others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation, cognitive flexibility. So these are the 10 key skills which is requirement into the 21st century. And with the help of the education 4.0 only, we can get within a very short period of the time. Because due to the technological advancement, things is changing very fast. And for this key skills, if we want to the key skills deliver to the students, then we need to do the education 4.0. So that is the basic of the framework of education 4.0. So here we can see that this education 4.0, knowledge of the degree discipline, practical and psychomotor skills, interpersonal skills, social responsibility, ethics and professionalism, communication, leadership skills, analytical and critical thinking skills, lifelong learning and information management skills, and entrepreneurial characteristics. So these are the framework of the education 4.0. By the enhancement of this as an objective, whenever we'll fix these things as an objective, then only we can create the education 4.0. So here we can see that the glimpse into the future of learning. As we discussed, all these things will be the part of these things. Okay, so virtual things, schools may be changed, learner may be changed, and the things will be changed slowly by the adoption of the new technology, and these things will be converted into the future of learning. So here things are there. Things will be on demand, collaborative, empowered. So whenever the things will be converted by the technological to the educational system, then only the things can be changed. So what is the key conclusion of this our framework? Improved student engagement, improved learning outcome, career success and pathways, and intervention and remediation. So these are required from the student point of view, or that is the objective of the education for the students. Academic students, improved student retention, maximize student success, resource optimization, business intelligence and reporting, and curriculum audit. So these are the objective for the students, and these are the objective for the academic students. So whenever the things will be, we can achieve through the system, and these systems can be achieved whenever these things will be included in the framework of the education policy. Here, this virtual immersive teaching and learning, this things is change the education systems, and by that only we can get the good things. So thank you very much. So now we discussed about that, what are the frameworks for the education 4.0 and what are the things is required for the students, what are the things is required for the institutes. Then only just we can convert the things into the education 4.0, and the students and the industry and the government and the country can be benefited by the education 4.0. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Ravindra Pathak. Sir, we have, I think, gained a lot about future education today from your session. The participants are watching us across the globe. Both of these speakers were eventually very, very experienced personals today. And sir, thank you for enlightening our knowledge. Thank you for giving us so much focus on educational statistics. And we would love to have you again. I think I'm getting I can see a lot of comments coming in, which clearly means that the participants are really satisfied with the sort of webinar IGP is doing, and the speakers are coming in. The panel who are here with us are extremely contributing a lot. Thank you once again, sir. I think we can just move on to the Q&A session, sir, with few questions. We cannot take probably all the questions because then we cannot do the other things ahead. So this is, I'll just hand over to the participants they can start asking questions to both of our speakers. I think ma'am is also there with us. Though we can see that the time is for quiz competition, but okay, I think let me see what is coming on the screen, and then, so don't forget to tag, share, and start. Please keep on commenting. Please keep on commenting. We are on the Future of Education webinar today. And please bring in more of your people, colleagues, friends to watch on this IGP program to get more skilled, educated. And these programs are available. If you have not joined IGP, please like the page, join the page. I think we will have the quiz first. And maybe then you can start your question, because we have started little today. And the quiz, you can join at slido.com with a passcode of 33333. So we'll have the quiz first. That's the direction from IGP right now. In case start with the quiz. Okay. We're just waiting for, you can log on to slide.com with 33333 for the quiz contest. And remember, the quiz honors, the quiz participants, the quiz honors will get a certificate from IGP. And after this, we will move on to the certification link, which all of you are waiting for. So keep watching, wait with us till the end so that you can take your certificate. We'll put the certificate link on this. It will come on the comment box. It will come to you as well. So you can, download the certificate. Use a computer or a laptop to do that. Don't use a mobile to download the certificate. It will take a lot of time, and you have space downloaded. So due to scarcity of time, I think Q&A might be held up today, because we are going to the quiz right now. We are waiting for the questions to come. Sorry, questions to come on. Slido.com. Okay, yeah. Slido.com is something which is there with a passcode of 33333. After this, we will move straight away to the link for the certificate download. Between these both of these, I mean the speakers forum address and then the quiz and then the participation certification link. Would again like to invite you continue to these programs which are continuously happening. Please come and watch. The old programs are also available. So now the question is on the screen. What is the future of education? No more school? Yeah. Change of teaching. What do you think should be the answer? So you can just write down your answers. What is the future of education? So now yes, the answer is 99% a change of teaching. And let me see you that the leaderboard now. Let me see first is right or wrong. Of course, it will be right because 99% wrong as usual. So we are waiting for yes. It is not attending the school and classes will affect your education, and your future. Whether it is true, or waiting for the answers to come in. Percent of it. So now let us see. Oh, let us go to the leaderboard fast. We have Ruby of 4 with 2 by 2. I mean, 2 out of 2 they have made the correct. We go to the third question, and third question says, are the most likely, are the skills different from education? Yes? No. So now we'll have the answer to come on the screen. 63% of them says yes. On the leaderboard. Oh no, leaderboard would come later. We have one more question. The future largely, especially, purely, and largely is the right answer. Centered and training education for future vacations. Train true. 93% says true. 3% true is the wrong answer. I'm so sorry, gentlemen. Again, we have another question here. It is just true that education is reliably or fully truly competitive. Mix and match of exactly 33% and 40%. Certainly is the right answer. It is certainly true that education is becoming this. 5 out of 6. Ludi, we have 5 out of 6. Cornelo. Next question. Participation in career and technology education false. So again, that's a very hard question on that. percent goes for it, and yes, true is the right answer. So we're there. We'll go to the next question. Experts suggest that students are thinking, working with diverse groups, social intelligence. Oh, let us see. Live quiz going on for IGP. Yeah, that's a 12-10. Yeah, and then the answer says yes, all of the above is the right answer. So we go now to the leaderboard with Loida, Gerald, Cornelo, Zaldi on the top four. Now we go to the next question. Which strand of progressive education was a critical response to the classical curriculum of the 19th century? Developmental democratic, social efficiency, neither, both. Again, a little confusing answer. Let's see. Awaiting the participants to give the answers on the screen. Yeah, it says 34% developmental, 22%, and both is the right answer with 39% making it right. So a quick flash on the leaderboard with Loida, Grace, Karen, Noam on the first four positions. Next question: which is the best skill or skills as a student will need to become a future business leader? Be very specific. Communication skills, reading skills, math skills, or all of the top three skills. Yes, the answer says. Which is the answer? I think all of these top three skills are required. And then, yes, no. Communication skills is the right answer. So I'm so sorry. 19% has made it correct. We go to the next question now. Congratulations. Okay, now it has been declared with Loida on the first position with 1.19 and 8 out of 10 answers. So congratulations to the first, second, and third participants. Loida, you become the first position. Nong, Lat, Hutun, Toon, you are in the second position, and Kai Dizon is on the third position. So all of you are requested to inbox your name so that we can immediately issue the certificates. So quiz competition winners, first, second, requested to contact our inbox with your full name immediately so that we can issue the quiz competition certificate immediately. We have on the first position as Loida Diaz, Nong Lat Hung, and Kai Dizon. Apart from that, Grace and Meg have given answers, but their timing were a little far off. So now I would once again like all of you to congratulate all of the first, second, and third quiz contest winners. You are requested to contact our inbox page, send in your names. Which particular you are asking? For the evening, we're arranging such a night speakers, we have answers. Okay. Merman sir, both are with us. So we're waiting for the questions to come in. Okay, participants, you can start asking questions in the comment box. And please address your speaker name so that we can save our time and the speaker's time and your time as well. Please put your question. We'll pick up one by one. We are yet to have any questions. That was pretty well explained, so there is no question, sir and ma'am. You have explained so well that and they could understand very well. Okay, we have one question from Manolita Ramas Oligo says from Ma'am Rania. The question is from Ma'am Rania. Can we engage students in the STEM subjects under distance learning conditions? How do we maintain the high quality education for everyone in this context? Ma'am, over to you.
Yes, distance learning poses a great challenge for teaching STEM because STEM is about hands-on activities. So online learning causes a great problem. But I think it's manageable if you create a great tutorial and instructions step by step. This is what I've done recently when I was teaching online STEM subject with my students also in Africa and Asia in the framework of my international projects. And I had to teach to perform STEM experiments, physics experiments. And it was quite amazing. The children were very enthusiastic because I showed them all the steps. Before we started, I had sent them all the instructions one by one, so they had a chance to experiment also before my performance. So I think that STEM education is actually very feasible in online learning, and it could be efficiently taught to all kinds to students of all ages, adults and also primary students or secondary education.
Thank you, ma'am. I think we'll have the second question on screen from Emil Brunozo to ma'am again. How to employ great scientific topics in poor community, very poor.
Yes. As I said before, I had the chance, I could say the privilege to work with underprivileged children through this program, for example, at CERN, but also I'm working with volunteering for underprivileged children. And here you have to face the challenge of technological equipment. I mean, I mentioned two categories of STEM: STEM Unplugged, where you can use simple everyday materials, and the STEM, which involves technological equipment such as Arduino, Raspberry. But in this case, second case, you need technological equipment, and we all know that in public schools, for example, here in Greece, this is impossible because governments don't fund equipment for robotics, for example. So I was obliged to follow the first category of STEM, the STEM Unplugged, and it was wonderful. We used material. I had to come up with activities that were suitable, of course, for their age, because we're talking about primary students, and of course, to adopt materials that could be attractive and challenging for them, such as Lego, cardboards, everything that could be attractive for children at this age. So I think that if we have the heart and mind and soul, students, even teachers, if they don't have the necessary technological equipment, they can find ways to attract the attention of students. And also another challenge that I had to face, of course, not only the age, was the curriculum, because the curriculum here in Greece, I think in most countries, doesn't include modern physics or astronomy. So I had to redesign the curriculum. In order to be innovative and creative, I have to come up with activities that would be suitable for them. But this is what I said before. The main challenge of STEM is, unfortunately, the funding challenge. So this is a question that governments should take into consideration and should start taking seriously that realize that STEM is the future of education around the world. I think that Australia and in USA it has already been integrated in the curriculum. So they must start funding and sponsor the technological equipment so that high-quality education can be accessible to all students. This is our goal. And also, I want to say something else, that many teachers are afraid of teaching science because they have not scientific background. This is false. Every teacher from any discipline can do STEM. That just means that it's necessary for him to be, for example, a scientist or a physicist. Any teacher can do this. I saw this through my project presented with English language teaching.
That was wonderful. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. One more question for you from Kinza. She says, Ma'am Ramya, is it applicable for language subjects to use STEM?
Yes, it's what I show you with my live show. I presented to English language teacher, and we did. I designed a lesson plan where I integrated a physics experiment, the lemon battery, and at the same time, I tried to teach electricity to students, and children experimented with different materials about electricity. So they learned about conditionals in English grammar. At the same time, they performed the experiment. And after this, we also integrated sociology because we talked about bullying, and at the end there was a theatrical representation. So actually in one STEM project, we included everything. Of course, language teaching can be combined with STEM education. It's highly innovative because there are not enough language teachers who are involved in STEM education. So it's very innovative in this area, and it's quite different from CLIL. CLIL in language teaching, in English language teaching, is something different. It's when you try to combine different knowledge from different disciplines, from scientific disciplines. For example, you want to teach National Geographic, some extracts of National Geographic in your classroom. This is different from STEM because STEM is actually more hands-on activities. So yes, language subject is quite easily to be combined with STEM. In everything, you need the appropriate methodology. And appropriate methodology is what fits best to your students, to their needs, to their rhythm, to their age, to their interest. This is the appropriate methodology for everything.
Okay, I think that satisfies. Okay, sir, we have a question for you, Dr. Ravindra. What is the difference between industrial... Sir, we have a question from Arsan H. Abdul Patta, and he says, Sir Ravindra, what is the difference between Industrial 4.0 and Education 4.0?
Okay. So, thank you very much. And that is a very basic and fundamental question that, so what is the Industry 4.0? As I discussed that, what is the Industry 4.0? So, Industry 4.0, if you will see, basically that is the industrial terminology. Means what we are getting the technological advancement. So technological advancement started from the using of the steam engine. Then Industry 4.0, we are using the cyber physical systems. So basically this revolution from the Industry 1.0 to 4.0, that is only in the terms of industry. That is a technological advancement for the industrial purpose. So that is known as the Industry 4.0. And what are the components or what are the properties of the Industry 4.0? That we are using the different upgraded technology. So when we use this Industry 4.0 technology into the education system for the learning purpose, for the students, for the society, then it will be converting into the Education 4.0 basically. So there are the different terminology like Logistic 4.0, like Supply Chain Management 4.0. So whenever we are using the 4.0 level technology into the particular domain, like this Industry 4.0 technology, we are using into the field of the industry, then it will become to the Industry 4.0, means just we are using the technological upgradement. So that is the basic difference. I hope you understand.
I think that was a very fantastic answer, sir. Thank you so much. We have one more question, sir, for you from Manolita Ramas Aligo. She says, okay, what can educators do to prevent ambiguities in the transfer of knowledge and skills that block the attempts to qualitatively improve the transition of graduates to work?
Okay, so thank you very much for this question. So basically, if we discuss about the Education 4.0, so the student is basically, if you will see, the student is the customer. Customer means they are coming into the university, they are coming into the school for getting the knowledge. So basically, responsibility of the implementation of the Education 4.0 is the whole responsibility of the teachers. whole responsibility of the university lectures. So when we discuss about the implementation of the education 4.0, means how the society, how the university, how the lecturer is upgrading the knowledge, how they are using this technological advancement, how this technological method is using for the transfer of the knowledge from the teachers to the students. So basically, if we will discuss, if we will see what is the use of industry 4.0 into the education 4.0, that how we can use the good technological equipment, good technological skills only for the transfer from the knowledge from the teachers to the students. So whenever we will use this technology for only for this purpose, then only we can use exactly education 4.0, and we can improve the quality of the teaching, and also the teachers can be benefited, also the students can be benefited, and ultimately our country, our nation will be the benefited. So, thank you.
I think that has quite satisfied your question. We have one question to sir. What would be the effective steps for making the classroom more communicative or interactive, especially in the Zoom classroom, sir? This is for you, sir, from Sanzida Afred.
Yeah, so this is problem we are also facing from the last 1 year. Whenever the classroom is shifted from the online to the virtual, so previously what happens, whenever the things will be started and just we started the Zoom online classes, so basically these classes was only for the theoretical purpose, because we cannot be transfer the technical skills, we cannot be transfer the particular, suppose, operation of the machine to the particular students. But now the things is completely changing. So that is my personal experience, that how this is the more communicative or the interactive, especially as in the Zoom classroom. So whenever you will just communicate with the students, or just suppose if you will engage with the different types of quiz, different type of the project. So whenever this communication from the student side also and from the teacher sides also, if you will transfer only the knowledge in the classroom, then the things will be, things will be going in the very worst way. Because what will happen, maybe the students will be on the mobile, and maybe he will not give the proper attention to the classroom. So whenever you will engage to the students, engagement, it doesn't mean that you will go, you do the exercise. So if you will tell the practical implementations, and if you will engage your students into the particular project, or you will discuss something new technology. Suppose if you are just teaching the math, science like that, then what is the benefit of the Zoom classroom, that you will include easily the videos, you can easily include the different type of pictures, you can just communicate with the students in a different way. So whenever in the Zoom classroom, you will just put it in a different way, by any means means if you can include the video, you can include the any project, something like that. So only that is the way, by way just the things can be more communicative, or just you can get the attention of the students.
I think that was a fantastic explanation, sir. Okay, we have one more question for the first speaker. That's ma'am. What information or concept should be the student should unlearn to pave way to great scientific things for the fifth industrial revolution?
Mm-hmm. When we talk about unlearn and relearn, we're talking about mostly methodologies. It's not about information or concept, it's the way of teaching. So we need to adopt creative methodologies, creative, challenging. We need to design the challenging activities for a student. It's not about the concept. Of course, the concept should change. We talked about how in the new curriculum, we should modernize the content. But that doesn't mean that we have to ban something. We can combine on this. For example, we talked about how we can integrate arts or project management or communication alongside with technical skills. It's not necessary to ban something, to abolish something, but we can combine creativity, innovation with the same old content. This is my opinion. And fifth industrial revolution, I said before, we shouldn't forget the human factor, the human dimension. It's not only about technology, it's how to use technology and pay attention to digital ethics and all these problems that students face today with the excessive use of internet, the exposure to inappropriate content, to privacy risks. All these are parameters that we have to take into consideration to our teaching when we use technology. This is my opinion.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. We have one question from Muhammad Kafidul Imam. This is again to you, ma'am. What should be the teaching strategies to cope up with the situation like pandemic COVID-19?
Well, in April 2020, I wrote a great article that it has a huge impact all around the world, and it's called "Teaching in the Coronavirus Using Brain-Based Strategies, Principles Based on Neuroeducation." And you can find this, it's free on the internet. And as I said before, I'm a neuroeducation researcher and suggest some strategies about how to cope with the COVID pandemic using brain-based techniques. First of all, we need to create positive emotions because according to neuroeducation, emotion is closely related with the thoughts. Everything we think, everything we act, everything we doing is interrelated with emotion. So we need to give strong emotional stimuli to our students because this way information is much less, it's more stored in what we call the long-term memory. Another thing is we need to encourage the students to develop self-awareness and to encourage them to express their feelings and their experiences of the COVID pandemic. It's very important to do the story sharing, as we say, the storytelling. And of course, here integrate arts because art has a cathartic and liberating role. It's not accidental that all around the world we can see how many artistic competitions on the theme of COVID were organized. Another important thing during the COVID pandemic is that we're talking about social distancing, but it's only physical distancing, not it shouldn't lead to isolation. That means that we can leverage many collaborative platforms, such as bulletin boards, chat forums, so that we can encourage students to develop their social skills, empathy, altruism, and all these social skills, because according to neuroeducation, our brain is social. That means that our brain evolves through interaction. It needs others to interact. Another thing, it's important feedback because in online learning, feedback is very important for students not to be bored, not to be to feel like they're in a chaos. And of course, what I said before is to adopt appropriate methodology. I think it's interesting for teachers to search about all this, about brain-based strategies, and how we can combine them with the new normal education, the new education landscape as it is shaped by the new normal.
I think, thank you so much, ma'am, for giving such a nice answer to the participants. And sir, thank you so much for giving the answers. I think that was a wonderful session by IGP. And I would once again like to thank both the speakers, Rania and Dr. Arvind, to come on the platform for IGP today evening, giving their precious time, knowledge, sharing the whole PPT with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for engaging yourself with us. We'll hope you will come and join again and share us with some new topics. And thank you again. On the behalf of IGP, on behalf of all the participants watching across the globe on Facebook Live, everyone is appreciating both of you to be here. So thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rania, ma'am.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge experiences. Thank you.
Oh, that is very much required. Knowledge is something we should keep on sharing. It's not about senior, junior. I think there is no end to it.
Thank you.
So thank you, sir. Thank you, Rania. We have today's quiz certificate. I'm sorry, the participation certification link right now. So instructions are there. The future of education is today's program, and this is 113 episode webinar. So instructions is certificate code is not required. You can see the certification link on the in the chat box. You can see it here on the screen. And what you have to do is you in the comment box, you can take the certification link and pin your comment on that. So celebrate this certificate. Once you download it, what you have to do is you can share this your experience with us. You can just don't forget to check in. So this is, or you can browse www.eduigp.com, and from there you can download our certificates. So certificates, you should celebrate the certificate, tag, comment, and share with IGP page. Don't forget to check in, because that will, in the IGP page, once you celebrate the certifications, we will try and develop more. We'll try and bring more educational webinars for you to get yourself engaged. So please circulate, please celebrate with the certificate. And code is absolutely not required. If you're new, then please log into www.eduigp.com and register yourself. Absolutely free. The program is free. The certification is free. So you can keep on watching our programs. So we also have an upcoming program that will be, that you will stay updated once you are logged in. Celebrate with your certificates. Please don't forget, this is the certification. You can verify the certification with this following. You can see there is something here, and we have one research and mindset webinar on 16th of June. So 16th of June, you can come and attend 6 to 8 p.m. The link will be shared in the FB page, and that will be our 115 seminars, 115th seminar. That is on 18 June. So this is 18 June. We have, that is driving equity and quality in education with technology. That is again from 6 to 8 p.m. So you can join that also. We'll have speakers from India and Egypt on that day. So it's all about, continuously learning and engaging yourself and gaining out knowledge while you are on the page of IGP. So quiz certification, membership certification, we have participation certification. So many things we are offering you. So please come and join. We have one more program coming on the 20th of June. That's articles writing and publication. We will have speakers from Indonesia, India, and Philippines. So that's on 20th of June, 20, which will be our 116th webinar. So you can watch our old webinars also there on the page live. So please check in after you download your certificate. Please try to download the certificate in a laptop or a desktop, because those are bigger files. On June 16th, research and mindset with we have a speaker from Malaysia, Philippines, and UK. That is 114th. Today is 113th one which you are working, and then we'll have 114, then 115 and 116. All these three are coming up. This is a certificate, international webinar certificate. This is how you will get, what you will get as a certificate. So I think that was a very knowledgeable evening today. We had two eminent speakers. This is the quiz completion certificate, which will be presented. This is the lifetime membership certificate. This is the membership certificate. So all these things you can get eligible once you are in the IGP page. You are participating. You are continuously watching the webinars. You are participating in the quiz. So you keep on getting the membership certificates, the life certificates, quiz certificates, participant certificates, all these things. So this is Rahul, your host for the evening. I had a very lovely time with all of you today evening. I think you also had a very knowledgeable and lovely evening today, watching the live speakers coming in. We were a little bit late today. Sorry for that, because we had Rania was having some network issues. So that's the reason we were having some issues to join in time. So once again, I apologize on behalf of IGP. So you can see certificate membership. So stay with us.